F production drivers on the grid right now, getting ready to head on track there. There they are, getting set to go, and it's going to be a tough one, folks. These guys are going to be chasing Steve Sturgis in this number 17 Triumph Spitfire. He is unbelievably quick, a 231.668, almost 2 seconds clear of the number 89 of David Bryson for this one. So there's definitely going to be some major league racing coming up here. These guys are going to have to step it up if they want to run against Steve Sturgis. You know what? We got more to talk about here. We'll go through the entire grid, but let's head back down to John Bizignano to give us a little more insight here on F Production.
I'll tell you what, let's keep an extra eye out on that 89 car of Dave Bison. He's had 6 wins this year. He's undefeated. And actually, it's his first time at Road Atlanta. So during the practice and qualifying all week long, he definitely feels that he has not gotten all the time from this track. He feels that there's at least a second and a half that he may be able to pull out during the race. In contrast to that, the number 17 car on pole position, of course, he's a 4-time championship, and this is his home track. So he knows every single element and how to keep someone behind him. These two are going to have a great race.
Well, I think what's going to happen here is that before we get back to the grid, Bryson is going to go out here and follow Sargis around and learn a lot about the track, because Sargis is really comfortable here. And here you've got another guy that's pretty new at the track, and he doesn't know exactly the lines, so he'll get behind Sargis and go to school and end up picking up his time during the race, I believe.
You know what, that could easily happen right now. As we've already said, as we started off the grid before heading down to Biz on pit lane, Steve Sturgis will start on pole alongside David Bryson, while row 2 will have your reigning champion Rick Harris out of Derby, Kansas, and a Mazda Miata starting in 3rd spot alongside the Acura Integra of Kevin Ruck out of Ohio, number 73. Row number 3 right now, Eric Prill out of Topeka, Kansas, in the number 7 machine, the Lotus Super 7. Very quick last year, looking at a chance to possibly go for the win. We'll see what he does here this weekend in that Lotus. He'll start alongside Mark Carpenter in an Acura Integra, number 30. He was 4th last year at the Runoffs. Row number 4 now, Brian Lynn in a Mazda Miata will start 7th in the number 33 alongside Harold Fleischer, Joe Walker rather, in the Elva Courier. And the number 9, Walker, was 3rd last year at the Runoffs, starting 8th here this year. We'll see if he can find a little more here on our final day of competition for F Production. Row number 5, Harold Fleischer out of West Palm Beach, Florida, and Austin Healy Sprite will start on the inside of that row in the number 9, while Bill Wessel on the Datsun 311 will start on the outside in the 10th position. Row number 6 now will be Larry Funk on the inside in the Honda CRX, while in the Mazda Miata on the outside, it's John Steflik in the number 06. Row 7, Donald Crafton out of New York in the Elva Courier number 34 will start alongside Gerald Lamb in the MGB, while row 8 has Robert Bramlage out of Manhattan, Kansas in the number 83 Mazda Miata alongside another Miata, Serge Lentz out of Circleville, New York in the number 2. Row 9, Charles Mathis in a Volkswagen Rabbit from St. Jacob, Illinois in the number 54 will start in 17th alongside Dieter Greisinger out of Illinois in a Triumph Spitfire number 69, while row 10 sees Mason Workman in the number 52 on the outside in a Mazda Miata, and on the inside the 44 Volkswagen Scirocco of Mark Coffin. Row 11, Walter Handley on the outside of the Pennsylvania in the Porsche 914 alongside Michael Nyat in the MG Midget, while row 12 has Ken Alderson in the Opel GT and another Austin Healy Sprite, Mark Webber in the number 25. Row 13 will be Robert Lembrecki in the MG Midget, and on the inside, another Triumph Spitfire for Chris Patrick. Row 14, Robert Keller will have his Volvo P1800 on the inside of that row in the number 29, and on the outside, in a Mazda Miata, it'll be Paul Jensen. And then rounding up the 29 drivers set to go in this field out of Durand, Michigan on a Mazda Miata number 11, Steve Ives. It'll be Sargis and Bryson on row 1, Harris and Ruck row 2, Prill and Carpenter row 3, Lynn and Walker row 4, Fleischer and Wessel on row number 5. Elliott, it's going to be one of those deals here right now. Steve Sargis has shown the way here all weekend long. He's the one everybody knows they have to charge. But like Biz said, maybe David Bryson, a little bit of an unknown here right now, having never been to the racetrack, still thinking there's a second and a half left in him.
Yeah, and the other thing is that we have people like Eric Prill, who didn't get out on the last day because the fact is he had that brake problem in his car, so he had to go at the time from the day before. When the last day was, everybody in front of him just found it was the last day. So that cost him and put him back in fifth place. So maybe he'll be a player by the time, because last year he was on the pole. He was running first and second until he had a suspension breakage. So, he could be there, and that Lotus 7 is an extremely fast little car. So, and I don't think you can count out Harris either, because, Harris didn't win last year, starting third. But last year he started second, got a bad start, went back to fourth, and came back to the win anyway. Right. So, this is a class where a lot of things can happen. I think Sargis right now shows us the guy to beat, and probably has everybody covered in. So, I don't know what's going to happen on this, but I think that we'll see some other guys come up. I don't know how many people have run the track, how much time they have actually spent on the track, so it's kind of hard to tell what we're going to have here. But like I say, Eric Pell, Rick Harris, Sargis, Bryson, any one of those guys could be really tough by the end of this race.
I think if you want to take the easy stance, you can just say Steve Sargis, right? Or Sargis.
Sargis.
He's going to win.
Yeah,
but there's still some unknowns here right now in this F production category that could make this an absolutely fantastic race. And the drivers working their way up now here to Canada Corner, getting ready to go. I think they're probably thinking the same thing.
Well, the money in Vegas would be on Sargis, because you look at qualifying, you look what he's done. It's his home track. He's very quick here. He's won races here. He'd have to be the guy. But, it's really kind of hard to say in this deal because of the issues that happened during qualifying. Where would Prill have been if he didn't have the brake problem? Harris wasn't on the pole last time and ended up winning. So, a lot of things can happen. I
really think that Bryson and Prill are those two unknowns that I'm wondering about. Prill obviously could have got a little bit quicker had he been able to get through there. And, of course, Bryson, like you said, he's quick, he's there. But whether or not he's going to be able to find that little bit more chasing Sargis, we'll have to see.
Yeah, and last year, Sargis was leading the race, and he spun and had to work his way back up to second. So, a lot of things can happen here. Looks like we're having a little faster start this time.
Sargis is leading them up the hill here with a little bit of throttle. Bryson's going to be able to stay with them right now. Getting set to go here for F Production. You production enthusiasts listening in online at Speedcast TV, enjoy yourself because we are green. Live coverage of F Production racing here. Prill not with a good start. He's going to fall back a little bit. But Sargis holds on to the lead, but Bryson from the outside. We've seen this before. Let's see if Bryson can take that lead from the outside.
Well, I think it looks like it might happen. Nope. Sargis still got up in there. I thought that the guys that we were drafted on the outside was going to make it. Ooh! Looks like Sargis got a little bit sideways there.
Everybody's settling into position now. Sargis right there. Bryson into second spot. They're all rolling through here right now.
And Ruck is sitting right there in third place, it looks like. And he got a heck of a start with the draft off of... He got the off of Bryson. He got that draft coming down the front. Now they're going down the back to see if he can get a draft off of who to get up into the turn 5.
Here comes Bryson to go to the inside of Sargis. So we've answered the question right now. We have a challenger already.
Got a little bit size. Can he carry the speed out of the corner? He lost a little. Looks like Sargis is going to get right back by. And look at Ruck up the other side, making it 3 wide under the bridge. Oh, that's not good. And forgot Sargis. Oh my gosh.
Spins out. Let's see if he can get that thing refired. Wow, Sargis got together. They were up over in that corner right there. They were 3 wide. And Sargis, he was through, and somebody just touched the right rear, and around he went, Elliot. What a horrible deal.
Oh, that is bad.
Sargis.
Yeah, because he got through there. He had the inside, and he was home free. And to have the car come across and hit him, you just go, man.
That happened so fast, I can't tell you if Sargis came a bit to the right or if Bryson went a bit to the left or a little bit of each, you know what I mean? I don't know exactly what happened there.
Well, I think it was Ruck that got in the outside, and then Ruck got turned across the front of Bryson and went right into the back of Sargis and spun him out. So
wow, that might have been true. Oh, well, I'll tell you, regardless of what it was, we talked earlier about the fact that anything can happen here. You never know what it's going to be, and there it is right there. Around he went.
God, had everybody covered. It's really a shame that a guy's doing a really good job up there and running clean and something like that happened. I'm surprised we didn't have more people affected by that in the pool with them, but Bryson came out very well on that, but boy, 3 under that bridge just isn't going to work. There just isn't the room there. You can't turn that 90-degree corner that way.
So right now, Bryson is your leader. The driver in the second spot. I'm trying to get That was in the Acura Integra.
Is that Ruck in that one? Then who was that? I thought that was Ruck earlier. I must have been wrong on that one.
We're going to get a look as they come up the hill here. That actually might be Mark Carpenter up into second spot right now. Excuse me. That's the number 30. It is Mark Carpenter from 6th up to 2nd. What a start for Carpenter. He's going to look at a piece of the lead here right now. Bryson's going to drive down the middle of the racetrack. He's going to try to defend early here.
Yeah, these guys got a long way to go. They ought to just be calm and let it happen. But, those two guys out front have got Eric Prill's going to make a move back in the back here to try and get the fourth place. Yeah, because Prill was up pretty good, but he had to miss some stuff. And, boy, I'll tell you what, in that little itty-bitty car it's got everything. It's got to look pretty big when you're sitting next to an Acura that's next to you and you don't even come up to the door handle.
Yeah, no doubt. Here he is already. Prill able to go down the inside of Brian landing to turn number 1. Rather than turn number 3, so Prill now into the 4th position here. Here's your leader, Bryson. And the number 89, Miata.
Yeah, well, he's going to be able to practice some laps now and trying to get some good ones in. He didn't get to have Sargis out in front of him to help him with his lines and stuff, but he's still out front doing a good job. And but he's got that Acura all over the back of him, and the Acura is doing a good job. Even though they qualified a little bit apart, they're running about the same lap times, and it looks like he's right on him looking for a way around Bryson.
Yeah, Bryson was about a half a second faster than Mark Carpenter in qualifying, but Carpenter has obviously found a little bit here. And, one of those things, too, maybe a little fired up as well for the fact that he's running in second spot. He knows that Sargis is gone. There's an opportunity now to go for the victory here. I think maybe some guys may have thought second was the best they could do, knowing that Sargis was so fast.
And I believe that's absolutely the truth. I think that everybody was kind of figuring that Sargis was the guy that was going to go off, and they were racing for another spot. Bryson thought he could run with him, but wasn't sure. Looks like Eric Prill is going to go for another spot here, try and move himself up to 4th.
Eric Prill definitely making the move here right now. As he started in 5th spot, got shuffled back here a little bit, but has worked his way up into 4th. Able to get by Brian Lynn, now going to work on the Miata of Rick Harris.
Yep, he's going, and then the two guys riding up front who are, it's going to see if that draft goes, because it looks like Carpenter is still sitting there, and if he can get the draft he did last time, he may be able to get by, because Bryson's going to be able to defend for so long, but geez, defending for the whole race is a long time. It's not like it's the end of the race already, so it looks like Carpenter's getting a run early this time, in the middle of the track.
He's going
to the right of the track, and
here comes Carpenter out to the outside. Can he get it done on the outside here, folks?
He looks like he just about might do it. He's got enough of a run out there, but no, Bryson's coming back side by side through one. They're going to touch.
Oh, that's great.
And he looks like he made it.
Beautiful pass
Good
on
job.
the outside from Mark Carpenter to Charlotte, North Carolina. A beautiful pass on the outside to take the lead. You know what? And that's what it was right there. He was giving it up. He was blocking down the inside, and this time he just powered right along the back here. Bryson now tucking into 2nd. This has also allowed Rick Harris and Eric Prill to be part of this lead battle here.
Yeah, and those two guys running up front are both from the same area, so they run against each other. They know each other pretty well, and Bryson's able to draft right back by again. But as you say, Rob, the 3rd and 4th place cars are able to get right back up in it as these guys dice with each other. So Eric Prill is right now back in the deal and has as good a shot as anybody to win this thing from his spot further back. But now we've got a 4-car battle going for it. And if these guys up front keep dicing with each other, they're going to keep hurting themselves.
And that's what it is. If they do keep battling around, these other guys are going to be able to come up. Prill and Harris are going to be able to come up and be part of this program here. And that's what's going to make it exciting here if they keep dicing it out.
Yeah, and Harris knows how to win this event, so he can, if he gets up there, uses his head, he can be around. Now they're pulling away from the 3rd place car again. Doesn't look like Harris has the pace through certain sections of the track.
You got to give props up to Eric Prill, the Director of Marketing and Communications for the SCCA. He's very involved in the organization, in the club. You see him out there having a great time. That's what this is all about. Out here racing away, running 4th right now. Looking to try to score, and then we have a driver off here right now, the number 69 of Dieter Greisinger. Dieter Greisinger out of Maple Park, Illinois, in that Triumph Spitfire, pulling it off in turn number 5. Looks like his runoffs is done here a little bit early, only 2 laps into this 13-lap contest.
Yeah, that's a shame. getting to drive back, which is one good thing, because I hate being stuck out in the corner for the rest of the way, waiting to be towed in. But up front, they're having still a heck of a battle, and I'd say that at the end of the straight, we're going to have a change of the lead again, because that's the way it's going to happen.
These guys are just going at it tooth and nail. There's no doubt about that. They each want a lead here. Bryson was able to take it back in turn number 5 after losing it up in turn number 1, and here comes Carpenter again. Let's see if he tries. Nope, inside this time.
Yeah, and actual fact on Bryson's part, if he lets him go by on the inside, it's actually better. They'll lose less time by not going two abreast. If he will back off early and let him go and then follow him around, they lose less time doing that than if they go side by side through the corner and the other guys catch up with him more.
But here comes Harris, though, going to go for second spot right now. He gets a great run out of turn number 1 through 2 and into 3. New driver into second. Bryson now shuffled back into third spot as Prill now looking to try to work here. As a good run for Harris as F production underway here. Now 3 laps in the books. And what a group of cars we have here right now. We have the Spitfire of Sargis out of the race now, but we've got the Miata of Bryson right in there. We've got the Acura Integra of Ruck, the Miata of Harris, and the Lotus Super 7 of Eric Prill in the hunt.
Yeah, Carpenter in the Integra was able to keep the lead down there because of that other change. But right now, I think that Prill is just going to sit there and just watch what happens just a little bit here, because there's a lot of action going on ahead of him. But they're going to have to feel themselves out. It's a lot of the race to go. But the drafting seems to work very well in these cars to make a pass. And if they can continue to make the passes like that, we'll have a lot of lead changes in this race. That's for sure.
4-driver breakaway right now here, folks, in this race here. Kevin Ruck in the number 73 and Brian Lynn in number 33 trying to close up, but they're about a second and a half off here. And it's going to come down to David Bryson, Mark Carpenter, Rick Harris, and Eric Prill. It looks like the leader still Mark Carpenter in the Integra. Out front here in F production.
Yeah, they're having a great race down there. I think we'll see some changes of the lead on the. We've got somebody pulling off the Elwood Courier here.
That looks like the number 9 entry of Joe Walker. 3rd last year. Walker out of the race here.
Well, that
looks like right at the exit coming into turn number 9, coming into the carousel.
Looks like just at the start of the carousel. Yeah, I agree with you.
Joe Walker started in 8th position, was 3rd last year. I said a podium finisher last year. It will not happen again here in 2009. Oh, almost a spin there. Wheels off for Carpenter.
Leader's off the track.
Leader's up way off the track.
Going to lose a couple positions.
He might lose a lot. Prill up into second. Prill's going to go to second here.
Yeah, because Harris had lost 2 positions back in the back someplace. Now Prill, who seems to be a little slow up the straight, actually. Or maybe even more than a little slow up the straight.
I think Prill got balked a little bit, possibly trying to get by up there. I'm not sure what happened because he lost a lot of top end coming up here. You're right, Elliot.
Yeah, it just doesn't seem. He seems to be fast in some spots, but maybe the little Lotus is not really fast up the straight. It just handles well, stops well.
Well, there's no doubt about the fact that it doesn't have a lot of aero, but it really was slow midway through. Not where you expect the aero to really kick in more. Just as soon as he got to the top, Harris was able just to power right by him.
Yeah, and Harris is coming back up on Bryson again, so we're going to get to a battle there. I wonder what the heck happened to Carpenter. And Ruck is coming back into this deal now. We have a 6-car train now instead of a 4-car train with what had just happened in turn 14.
You're right, they are starting to close up here. Well, that was wild for Carpenter. He just got a little bit loose coming to the apex, and by the time he had saved it, his direction had put him off, 4 wheels off in turn 14, and he just watched the entire group go right by him. Here comes Prill with a move to the inside of Harris. Trouble for Harris, possibly.
Well, Carpenter's trying to make the same move, but no, I think the Lotus is just better in that section. I think the Lotus is a little slow up the straight. It's one of those things we've seen in a lot of the other classes. One car is good up the straight, another one's good under braking and handling, another one's good in the high-speed corners, and right now, I think Prill is in his element back in this section of the track.
He obviously gets hurt when he gets to the big long straightaways, but as long as he can tuck in behind somebody and has that draft, he's in good shape. Right now, Prill starting to work his way up here on the 89 of Bryson, David Bryson out of Clemens, North Carolina, in the Race Sports RH 2-way Goodyear Mazda Miata.
Yeah, this is a 5-car battle right now, and possibly 6.
So going to be 6. That's exactly right.
We are having a good race here. Oh, Ruck just about off the road there.
working their way through the kettle bottoms after the kink over to Canada corner right now. Does Prill have anything to go after the lead, or is he going to be comfortable maybe sitting behind Bryson to try to get away a little bit here?
It looks like we've got a little engine problem here.
Steve Ives out of Michigan in pit lane in the number 11. There's a shot of the number 54 car, the Volkswagen Rabbit of Charles Mathis out of Illinois rolling through. Here's your leaders again up through Billy Mitchell Bend. Prill's going to have a look to the inside. Has a little look to the inside coming into 14.
Now we'll see if Prill can actually hold the draft there, whether Harris goes right back by again, because you might be right about the fact is as long as he's tucked up and under, he can do this, but when he gets on the straight alone, he can't do anything with him, because it looks like Harris isn't going by this lap, and he's able to just stay in that draft. But
here comes the top end, however, of that Integra.
Now he's got to go out to the block on the outside. He's actually...
Or is he going to go for the lead on the outside? Prill trying the outside of the Miata. They're trying to hang it outside there. They are 2 by 2 through this corner. Look at this in F production. Prill going for the lead, trying to go around the outside.
Trying a second time on the outside.
Oh, look at these guys. Prill to the lead.
They're being really nice, because that little tiny car could be moved out of the way really easy.
Eric Prill.
If they had a lightweight car like that, it'd just go, whoa,
Eric
man.
Prill, thank yourself that Elliot Forbes Robinson was not in the car of David Bryson, because you would have just got moved, I think.
Yeah, but look what happens to Prill when they get on the straight when he's leading. Yeah. He doesn't need to. This is the straight he needs to get the lead off of, not that one.
I agree. He can't do it down there. He's back to third spot. They'll just drive right around. And he's really quick coming back up the hill
just
here.
Watch out. Ruck's going up the inside. We know that he is not afraid under the bridge. Oh, my. These guys are driving quite aggressively here.
So Prill led coming out of 3. Now he's back to 5th spot again. He's going to have to work his way back up. It's almost like he wanted to sit in second, but it's just so tough. That Integra's got good top end at the end of the straightaway. So does both of the Miatas are pretty strong there as well, and he gets eaten up at the end of the chute.
Yeah, it seems like aero-wise stuff, as long as he's got somebody to draft with, he's okay. But he's trying to get the lead going onto the straight. He's probably learned that now. If he gets another chance passing into 3, he'll just tuck under the guy and just follow him around, because that way he goes in second, comes out second, instead of going in first and coming out 5th.
That's exactly right. Here we go.
Ooh.
Big wiggle there for Harris as he comes through the kink, but able to save it. This has allowed Bryson to pull away a little bit. The 89 stretching out a bit of a gap here right now, maybe 4 or 5 lengths. As we get a good look at the number 42 of Gerald Lamb and his MG.
Been chased by a rabbit. Well, those guys they're having a heck of a little battle there. Matter of fact, I thought the rabbit went around last time with nobody around him, so that's a surprise. Harris trying to get to the outside, a little bit of a defensive line by Bryson.
Let's see what happens.
And here comes Carpenter up the inside.
I'm telling you, that Integra's got some good horsepower up top when he gets up the hill there. Power by both these guys. I think we may see Carpenter trying to go right to the lead here. Once they get across the start-finish, it'll still start picking up, and he's also got the draft.
Oh my!
We may go 3 wide to 1 here.
It looks like
you're
going to do it.
3 wide. Here comes Carpenter. Down the inside. Book it. He'll take the spot.
Bryson second. Harris didn't make a spot. And Prill's hanging out there thinking the best of all this stuff. Well,
oh, no. Prill's going to go down the inside of Harris. Into 3.
And Ruck going outside.
This is just not going to end.
I hope they see him.
Oh, he did.
Oh, man. Now he's got to get up there and get into that draft again and see if he can do it.
Exactly. He needs that draft bad. He's not going to get it, I don't think. He's going to go side by side. In fact, we have another driver coming in here. That's Bill Wessel. Probably Brian Lynn.
And Brian Lynn, who has come from nowhere into this mess, and maybe he should just hang back in the back for a little bit and just say, oh, okay, I'll watch you guys, and then towards the end of the race, I'll go ahead and make a move.
Brian Wessel in 7th spot, back by 8 seconds. Donald Crafton in 8th. Harold Flesher 9th, Mason Workman in 10th. You know what? This is the best race we've seen all day long. F Production putting on a great show for us. It's the Acura Integra leading. That is David Bryson. Then it's the Miata. Now that's Carpenter, the Acura Integra. Then it's the Miata of David Bryson. Then the other Miata of Rick Harris. And then we have Kevin Ruck in the Acura Integra. And then Eric Prill in the Lotus Super 7, and then Brian Lynn in the other Mazda Miata. What a great cross-section of F production cars here. Look at Carpenter getting that right rear up off the ground as he
Yep.
works his way through the carousel.
Yeah, still lean. Those little front-wheel drive cars just pull that thing off. It's amazing to see the front-wheel drive cars running with the rear-wheel drive cars. And, you know, so hard to match these cars up and make them run competitively. And you look at all the kinds of cars that are out there with the Acura, the Mazda, the Lotus. Boy, and they're running even.
All right, folks, working their way down into Canada Corner right now. Some great racing up front here. As we said, it is still Mark Carpenter, your leader. Bryson runs in second, Harris in third. More to come. Stay tuned, folks. Lots more racing at the end of the F Production race on SpeedcastTV.com.
This portion of the Sports Car Club of America National Championship Runoffs is presented by Volkswagen.
Kid, where you been?
Just got back from an SCCA event.
Really?
Yeah, SCCA has more than 2,000 events every year.
Serious?
Go to SCCA.com and find people in your area that drive fast and get their hands dirty. And you don't have to be a supercar to compete.
So I go to SCCA.com, sign up, and I can start competing?
It's that easy.
Welcome back, folks, to Road America, and what is an awesome race here in F Production. We've had a little bit of issue here just in that 30 seconds we were gone as Eric Prills dropped back a little bit here, as you can see. He and Kevin Ruck and Brian Lynn battling it out right now as it's Mark Carpenter, Rick Harris, and David Bryson going at it up front here now.
Oh, Bryson making a switch to the inside, not going to try it. Harris hanging on, dropping a wheel in the dirt. Carpenter seems to be running pretty clean. Bryson's coming up side by side with Harris now. Takes away the spot. There he goes back into second spot, and now taking chase after Carpenter.
Kind of shaking things up here right now as Carpenter able to hold on to a bit of a lead here, but as they're dicing behind him, it's allowed him to pull out of a bit of a gap. And you know, he's a lot faster on these straightaways here. At the end of the straightaways, he seems to have a lot of top end able to pull away. If he gets a gap here right now and can break that draft, this could be very, very bad for David Bryson and Rick Harris.
Well, it could be, but it looks like Harris is in trouble. He dropped back a little bit, and Ruck is now right on him. And, you know, it doesn't take much of a mistake to close everybody back up again.
Yeah, you know what? We were locked and loaded, put a blanket over the top of all of them at one point, but they just started stretching out here a little bit as we're past the halfway point. Now 7 laps down. Carpenter pulling away a little bit here.
I don't think you're going to see that. I think you're going to see Bryson somehow get back up on him again, because I think that as long as they stop fighting back in the back, it's going to allow the somebody to come up and take a serious shot back up at him. And Carpenter's going very well, but I think Bryson's going to close that up, as we'll see as we get on the straight up here. Harris has lost a little bit on this deal now.
But he and Ruck are still working together right there. Prill's right in there again, too. So
yeah,
you're right, if they start getting themselves back in a straight line, we may see them tightening back up before the end of this one.
And the other thing that could happen is that Bryson is going to catch up with Carpenter here and start dicing it up, and everybody else comes back at them. You know, so you kind of got to be careful. I think these guys up front right now would almost be better not trying to pass each other and just go for it. And if there is going to be a pass, lift early and let the guy go by so that you can go single file, full speed, and nobody has to slow down in one. Because, see, as soon as you go side by side in here, it's not a good deal because it slows you both down and allows the other guys to catch up.
You know what? And that's right. Look at there. Same thing. Bryson, because he was down the inside, had to give up to be able to hold that and maintain that corner speed. He had to go way out wide there, and that has definitely allowed Rick Harris to close up a little bit. Further back, Kevin Ruck has dropped the spot. Eric Prill now taking over sole control of 4th position, albeit a ways back here right now, almost 3 seconds back from the leader. But as we know, Prill, if he can get a hold of that draft and close back up here, he led for a very short amount of time, maybe 120 yards coming out of number 3.
Exactly. Yeah, and if he could, you know, right now, he's not that far back, and he has none of the other cars in front of him, and they're getting to the best part of the track for him. I believe by the time they get to Canada Corner, he's going to be awfully close to Harris again, because his car is so fast through this section.
I think you're right, EFR. He is right on him, and so is Bryson. Bryson closing up on your leader again here. The more they dice, the more it allows Harris and Prill to get back into the hunt here right now. 8 laps down, 5 to go in F Production. One of the best races we've seen thus far.
It looked like Prill was going under Harris going into 8, so we'll see if he actually completed the move in just a second here, and if he can, then he'll still be catching up to the leaders in this section of the track, although he is slow on the straightaway. But we'll see how that works. We'll say, no, he did not get by. But he, the trouble was that he held them both back up, and then when he tried to make that pass, so that gives the leaders a chance to get away.
They got a big gap, and in fact, we're going to go 2 by 2 here. Here comes Bryson. Bryson to the inside through the kettle bottoms. An interesting place to make a move. Let's see what happens. They come over. He's on the outside for Canada Corner. It will give him a better run up the hill, but he's got to be in the place to capitalize on it.
Yeah, that's going to hurt them. It looks like Prill did get by Harris back in the Canada Corner there, but he won't be able to hold that up the straightaway because we've seen he's not fast enough up the straightaway, even though he's fast in this section of the racetrack.
Man, missed the apex in a big way there for Carpenter. Let's see if this allows Bryson to get a run on him up here.
Well, it stayed on the course at least this time, so that's a good thing, And but these cars seem to be pretty equal. They can get a draft off each other and make a pass down this straight. And looks like now Bryson's going to go to the outside and try and get by on the outside and see if he can make it.
Eric Prill still holding on to that third spot, but here comes Harris. They are still side by side. By going 2 by 2, it's going to allow Prill to close back up a bit. The gap last time through, 2.8 seconds for Prill, but he was able to get by Harris since then.
Yeah, so he's hanging on to that spot. Harris may be able to go. If he can get ahead of Harris going into 5, I believe that he'll be able to start eating out at these leaders. But the chances are he's going to be passed going into 5. He's staying over at the left side of the track, so that Harris is going to have to go to the right side, which is a tough way to pass. Bryson going for the lead into 5. Looks like he's got it made.
He's got a strong position to the inside to Bryson, now your new leader. Bryson takes over the lead. Carpenter back into second. Looking to see at the end of 5 of the stream whether Prill has that spot. He's able to hold him back, and Harris. He does not. Still not able to hold back Harris. 2.3 seconds back for Prill last time through.
It looks like Ruck has dropped off the pace there, but it looks like Lynn has got by him and is not too far back in this battle, but Ruck has dropped off the pace.
Like you said, for Prill, he's got to be able to get in front of Harris and hold him all the way to 5. Then he's going to be able to gap him from 5 over to Canada Corner. At this point, Harris just able to get with him and pull by him as they work their way down into turn number 5. Through the carousel this time. That's Harris in 3rd, Prill in 4th, and Lynn in 5th.
I think what for Eric Prill, I think what he needs to do is actually come out of turn 3 behind Harris, not pass him, so that he has a chance to draft him down and pass him into 5. If he can pass him into 5, then he can hold him off enough to keep the lead by the straightaway because he'll be far enough out. He's trying to pass going into Canada Corner again. Let's see if he tries to make it. Nope, not going to make it this time.
So he will be behind him, you'd expect, all the way down to turn number 5 this time because Harris just a little bit quicker on the straightaway as well. So maybe this is the opportunity that Prill needs to be able to go by in 5 and then try to gap him a little bit. Trouble right now for Bryson.
Oh, Bryson's out of
the race. Oh, no.
Oh, no. After getting up the lead, great race for him. And
David Bryson, not totally. We'll see if he pulls in the pit lane here right now, but he definitely slowed. No, he's still on the race.
No. That's Lynn.
You're right. That is Lynn. That's Brian Lynn closing up. Oh, man. What a heartbreak for Bryson going up from North Carolina, and he is out of the race.
Doing a super job, but his North Carolina compatriot is still out in front, so we'll see if he can hang on to the lead.
This is it here, folks, coming to the end of this one. 4 laps still to go.
But it looks like Prill is able to close right up on the back of Harris here. Now, if he can get the draft down the straight and stay close enough to the break into turn 5 or 6, he still may have a chance of getting away from Harris.
Yeah, we know how quick he is up into 6. If he gets through 5, he ducked to the inside of Harris up in 6 already one time. Looks like Prill staying right with him right now. Mark Carpenter still leading in the Acura Integra number 30. Prill, you can hardly even see him. He's so nicely into the draft.
Lockhart can't do it going into 5.
But he knows he has it in 6. Let's see if he can get the run out of here.
Nah, not enough to do it.
Right.
Well, now we'll see what happens with Harris, if he can keep it together and go after Carpenter, or whether he's just going to be involved in a battle with Prill and they just battle for second place.
Last time on lap 10, the gap was about 2.5 seconds between first and second. Harris obviously has his mirrors full of Eric Prell right now, so hasn't been able to totally focus on trying to close up on Mark Carpenter, who is leading the way right now in his Acura Integra. What a good start for Carpenter, folks. Started back in the 6th position, finds himself the leader in the Team GGS Racing Goodyear shod Acura Integra.
You know, what's interesting to me is that Sports Car Magazine picked their picks, and Carpenter was the pick. And when I have to watch qualifying, I look, Carpenter's way down the list, and they've got Sargent second. I went, yeah, they missed this one. Well, I guess maybe not.
But what do you expect happens? You know, Sargent obviously goes out early after that incident. A shame for him. You figured he'd be a lot quicker. Didn't happen this time around.
And Carpenter showed a lot of speed in the race that he didn't have in qualifying. He's ahead of a lot of people that out-qualified him, so he's doing a good job. Looks like we're going to have a little traffic coming into 14 here.
Yeah, let's see how this plays in. No traffic really for these guys. I'm not sure if it had any effect on Carpenter at all, but they'll be able to use the draft on the way back up the hill here. Pearl trying to use both. They'll get stuck out to dry there, pulling back in behind Harris. They work their way up the straightaway.
Yeah, they're having Pearl is close. Just don't know if he can pull this thing off or not to get the second spot. But it looks like right now the way traffic's working, because traffic is going to be in the way for both Harris and Prill coming down into turn 3. See if the slower traffic just stays there or moves out of the way. No, they're taking the inside, but that's still going to ruin their drive a little bit going down the back straight.
And Prill's going to get hung out to dry anyways. He's not able to get through himself. So Eric Prill going to lose touch of Harris.
Yeah, and if he loses touch with that down the straight, I think Lynn has a shot at going by him, because the Miata seems to have a little better speed down the straight.
And as we know, Prill needs to be behind somebody to get down these straightaways at any quick of a rate, because that car just not enough aero for him. And once he's out front, he just gets beaten up. He needs to be able to have all that air pushed away by Rick Harris.
Yeah, great job by Carpenter. He's just it looks like he's out there just driving around, staying on the line, not doing anything stupid. These guys are really hammering it to catch up with him, as they should be, but it's tough for them, because the Carpenter has this little lead he got, and to make up that distance in this short amount of laps is going to be really tough.
Yeah, 2.5 seconds. I got to think this one belongs to Mark Carpenter, but this battle for second definitely not over yet. Rick Harris and Eric Prill still going at it. Prill right on him, as we know, through the short stuff here. Prill pretty good through the carousel, trying to close back up on Harris. Carpenter out front by 2.5 seconds here.
Yeah, I'd be hard pushed to put in this race that somebody has it. With what's happened in this race so far, it looks right now like Carpenter has the best shot of anybody, but boy, I'll tell you what, with the way this race has gone and knocking out people that are in the lead, favorites, everything, it's a tough race to say, here's what I think's going to happen.
Well, this will be the final lap, folks, is coming around when he does come out back through here. Carpenter actually just working his way up through the Billy Mitchell bend right now. He will see the 1 to go sign, the 1 lap board coming across start finish.
Got some traffic here. I don't know how this is going to affect Prill. It'll affect Harris a little, but it looks like they're both going to get by the
Opal.
Slower car. Yeah, by the Opal. That's it.
Here we go. Come up the straightaway again.
If Prill can hang in there for a couple corners, and if he can have any shot at pulling out in 5, he's got himself second place on the box.
Here comes your leader by start finish. 1 more lap to go for Mark Carpenter. Rick Harris and Eric Prill going at it here. Remember, Harris, your champion from last year, trying to close up that 1 more spot to see if he can do it again here. However, Mark Carpenter looking to make things happen.
Doing a great job, and it looks like more traffic involved here, which actually may help Eric Prill get a good run onto the straight behind Harris. Yep, he's tucked right under him, so if he can hang in there down this straight, he may be able to outbreak him and get that spot. Harris is going to try and go down there and probably be a little bit of defensive driving at the end of the straight, because if he can hold off Prill there, Prill may not get by him. Carpenter doing the traffic very well. He's caught it in about the right spots and getting by really well.
Eric Prill to the inside, turn number 5, a hard move to the inside. Can he get back on the throttle? No,
No.
He went deep after that one. Almost was able to make it stick, but not quite enough, as Harris able to go back down on the inside.
Yeah, well, he's got
coming out of the corner.
Hill's got another shot at the at Canada corner. That'll be his last shot. But it looks like he's dropped back a little bit, and he's got traffic here. Now he's going to get by the traffic. He's okay there. Harris is doing a great job of staying ahead of him, too. He's using his head. When it came to 5, he let Pearl go by, knowing he was awfully deep in the corner, and was able to cut inside him. That was a good move.
Look at Pearl, though, right up on him again, coming through the carousel. There he is right there, your leader, folks, coming in first here. That is Mark Carpenter, looking to bring it home here, but we're watching this battle for second spot right now. Harris trying to hold off a charging Eric Pearl. Pearl relentless and trying to find a way through here on the final lap.
And I'm not sure that even if Pearl gets by here, if he has enough stuff up the straight to hold off Harris.
Here he comes.
We'll no, can't do it.
God,
he's not going to be able to do it. So it looks like this is the way we're going to finish.
Yeah, I don't think, as we said, we don't think Pearl, he knows it. I think he gave a little wave like, duh. He knows he needed it right there to be able to get through. Still, it'll be a good podium finish for Pearl. If he brings it back here, he's going to give it one more shot.
Yeah, I think he's done. It's like we're going to finish this way with Carpenter getting the win, with well-deserved win, and Harris a great second.
Folks, he was fourth in his division with a couple of wins this year, but when he came to Road America,
look at Pearl coming up. Pearl's going to come up. Is he going to get him?
Pearl.
No!
Wow, he actually gave it a shot there.
Yeah, it was a good run.
Man, what a great drive there. Like I said, folks, third in his division, 2 wins as well, 2 national wins this year, but he won the big one. Mark Carpenter, your national champion in F production. Rick Harris second, Eric Pearl third. I'm waiting for my live timing to update to tell you exactly what the margin between second and third was. We'll give you that in a second, but here's these guys giving each other the high five. What a great thing about F production. These guys, so entirely different race cars, so beautifully maintained, and then they can put that kind of a race on for us.
No, it's a great race. Absolutely great race. Eric gave it everything he could doing that deal, and
63 thousandths of a second.
Oh my God.
At the line, 600ths of a second at the line.
Well, great drive by Rick Harris. Great drive by Eric Pearl. I guess I'm sorry for Sargis, because he was fast, and to be taken out first lap, and he didn't even know it was coming. He never saw a thing coming. It was just slammed in the side of the car.
That's exactly. The first and second qualifiers in F production, neither of them made it to the end. Steve Sargis and David Bryson, neither driver made it to the end. Sargis obviously with that incident in the opening lap, and then Bryson later on in the run, he had some kind of a mechanical failure that put him behind the wall. But nonetheless, somebody's got to make it to the very end, and your winner this year in the Acura Integra, Mark Carpenter.
There goes our perfect deal of pole to win for the afternoon. It didn't happen today.
Didn't happen this time, you're right.
But what a great race. I mean, all those guys, we had 6 guys running up there dicing for the lead at one time and swapping positions like crazy. That had to be a fun race for everybody, especially for Carpenter, because coming out ahead of this deal, Mark had just had an exceptional race, made a big mistake in 14, came back on.
You're right.
And when he went off, he kept the car straight in the grass, which is not an easy thing to do. Came back on, limited his losses, got to the back of the queue, and started working his way back through the line again, and was able to come off with a win. I'm sure that he thought when he went off in 14, he says, oh my, that's the end of the deal.
There's no doubt. He would think he's done. He thinks he's getting straight trained and it's over. But you're right. He did a great job keeping the car going straight, got it back on the racetrack without any kind of wiggle. And like Rich said, was able to get back into the group and then just methodically worked his way back to the front again.
Yeah. When he went off the road down there, it's probably a good thing he doesn't have a live mic in the car, because the stuff you say to yourself when you come like that, oh, you stupid. So, but that's he kept his head and just kept on plugging for it and got back a little bit. And even Eric Pearl at one time was, we saw him come out in the lead, go back to 5th. Looked like he was out of it. He and Ruck had lost the draft. He just hung in there, came back up, and still almost got second place out of the deal, which was really would have been a good result for him. But third is a good result when you see the cars that slow. Oh, there is Bryson right there at the side of the road, sitting there going, I could have beaten you guys. You know?
And then to add insult to injury, he can't even lift the thing back to pit lane. He's got to sit down there
Yeah.
with the car halfway up the hill. That's a shame for him. But in come our drivers here after the cool down lap. And as we said, we're going to have our victory lap as well. But right now, we're going to watch the number. What number is Carpenter? Number 30. The number 30. I wasn't even looking at the number the whole time. I was just watching these guys left and right.
You just have to look so far down the list on the starting grid to find out where he was.
Started all the way back in 6th position. Nonetheless, obviously, we're going to have a quick interview with him momentarily, but a great run for him. Like I said, he was 3rd place in his division, the Southeast Division, a couple of national victories. But for him to be able to turn it around then and really cap this year off with a victory, he's got to be absolutely thrilled.
Oh, boy, I'll tell you. He's got to be. And, you know, he and Bryson ran against each other a lot this year, so, you know, they knew each other. It was, you know, he probably hates to see Bryson drop out.
You know what? He would have liked to have a battle with both guys. But nonetheless, I'll tell you, he's going to be a happy man, and we're going to see that heading down to Biz, talking with our national champion.
Just getting out of his helmet here. Bunny, come on in and give him his medal. My gosh, we want a shot of this. What a well-deserved drive. Drove very smartly. I got to tell you, you qualified 6th. Obviously, you weren't happy with that, but what a great drive. What did you see happening on those opening laps? How did you make it all the way up to the front?
Oh man, I mean there was crashes going on everywhere, and people were battling really hard. I was a little surprised that close in the beginning of the race, and there was a big accident between Sargis and Ruck. I'm not sure what happened, but it all happened in front of me. And as soon as I got through that, it was a great battle with Bryson. I'm kind of sad that he fell out, because that was going to be a really good battle to the end. But man, I got to give it to my guys. GGS Technical Publications for supporting us. My team just did a great job since the beginning of this program, and I got to thank them.
Well, what did you think when you saw that 89 car go out? Because I'll tell you, he had some legs on you.
I was surprised. Yeah, he had some power definitely on the straights, and his car was working really good. Probably a little better than our car in the corners, but it was going to be close at the end, because on the front stretch I had a little bit of an advantage on him, so I think we would have got him, but it would have been close.
Well, listen, congratulations. A lot of confidence there in yourself and your team. You got the 1st place, a championship, and a Triple Crown. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right. Back to a man who saw an awful lot of action, the car number 8. Rick told me that before the race, he said, man, this weekend's been going so smooth, I'm a little bit worried about it. Well, you got a lot of action out there, but again, everything went your way, or the way you wanted it to, except for that 1st place.
That's true. I'm really happy to be on the podium. This is just, I consider this a very successful week to be on the podium.
How about driving that close to Eric Prill? My gosh, the two of you look like you were going to exchange paint, but never really even touched each other.
No, we didn't. Eric and I are in the same division. We get to race each other all the time. And it was just a blast racing with him. I knew he's a really good driver, and I appreciate the opportunity to race with him.
Rick, congratulations on a great drive. You never put a wheel wrong the whole time. Congratulations on a great silver medal.
Thank you.
All right. Well, now this is something that I've been waiting to do for quite some time. Eric Prill, a good friend of mine, vice president here in the SCCA. My gosh, Eric, finally you're in the podium. Congratulations on a bronze medal.
Thanks, Biz. That was the craziest race I've ever been a part of. I think all of us led at one point. I had to use the draft a lot. I had to maintain the draft, or else I would have lost touch with everybody. But I have to give it up to my crew and Hoosier Tires, the Prathers, Jim Bob, Jason, Tony, all the guys. And I got to say, this one is for my dad, my mom and dad. This was my dad's car. He raced it for many, many years. And that's why I carry 1-800-FIGHT-MS on it. It's because it's his car. So I'm just happy to get it on the podium, and he's here to see it.
Well, Eric, I got some more questions for you. You're not going to get off that easy. Number one, you went from 1st place to 5th in about a half a lap. How did you stay out of trouble with that?
Well, everybody gave each other enough room. And I knew I was a sitting duck when I was first coming out of turn 3. And sure enough, I got freight trained down the back straightaway. It's what I expected. I thought I could get Rick Harris on the last lap going into turn 12, but there was a yellow there. Our car had just pulled off, and I had a run on him, and I was going to outbrake him, but I couldn't get him. But I guess he just got me by about that much at the stripe. So fun race.
I'll tell you, EFR kept saying that you were the bravest man out there because he wasn't sure that they could see you. You're so darn low, you would disappear behind them, and even when you're on the side of them. What it's like to be next to those bigger cars.
Well, I know that they can't see me, and that's why I know if I am going to make a move on them, I've got to get to where I'm within their sight, up in front of them. So I trust these guys. They raced clean. It was pretty crazy out there, but everybody gave each other just enough.
All right, congratulations on just a fantastic drive. Maybe the drive of the weekend so far. All this thing needs is another 15 horsepower, mate, and you'll be up top.
Thanks, Biz.
Congratulations. All right, guys. I mean, where are you ever going to see better racing than that? This wonderful Lotus 7 being able to compete in some of the toughest classes in the production here in Elkhart Lake. Congratulations to Eric Prill. He's been waiting for this to happen for many years. I've never seen him smiling this much. I think he's buying the beer tonight, you guys.
Well, that'll be great. Maybe we should be there.
You think so? Yeah, we might have to be there. If Eric's buying the beer, I'm definitely going to cash in a little bit on that one. But hey, you know what? A great race all around. Like we said, probably one of the best races we've seen all week, or all day long, rather. These guys went at it, and as Eric said, one of the craziest races he's ever been in. It didn't look that crazy. I guess it might be you're sitting down that low in an open cockpit car, but these guys were just passing each other left and right. They were so competitive, and everybody was really trying to work their way to the front.
Well, you had to watch all the time because, as we saw, you make a little mistake in turn 5, and we saw people come up on both sides of them. You know, you just couldn't make those kind of mistakes because the cars are so equally matched. Just a little loss of momentum, and you're a sitting duck. And the thing is that, you know, Eric had his issues with the slow straight line speed, the good cornering speed, and the fact that people couldn't see him. Carpenter, I think it would have been a good race with he and Bryson because
I do too.
They seem to be equally matched in a lot of places, and they seem to be able to draft by each other continuously. So you had a different leader all the time, which was also great. It depended on you just had to make sure you were the right guy at the right time.
This portion of the Sports Car Club of America National Championship Runoffs is presented by Volkswagen.
Kid, where you been?
Just got back from an SCCA event.
Really?
Yeah, SCCA has more than 2,000 events every year.
Serious?
Go to SCCA.com and find people in your area that drive fast and get their hands dirty. And you don't have to be a supercar to compete.
So I go to SCCA.com, sign up, and I can start competing?
It's that easy.